Okay, guys, we're going to get going in our factorization journey. So we are on lesson 4 of 6, and we are going to be looking at how we can factorize when we have a coefficient in our first term. So if you have a look over here, what we mean by coefficient is you've got a number that's chilling over there. We've got a 3. So when we did trinomials last year, we never had a number over there. It was always just an x squared. And so that's why we could always just use our factor pairs if we were wanting to factorize. So for example, if we had x squared plus 7x minus 8, for example, okay, we were able to just use our factor pairs of 8 and say 8 could be 1 and 8, or it could be 2 and 4. And then we were trying to get to the number 7. So we'd say, well, that needs to be positive 8 minus 1. So then we would have x plus 8, x minus 1. Okay, it's a very, very, very quick recap of how we did our trinomials in grade 9. Now, the difference between that question and the question that you're looking at the board right now is that there is no number here. If there was a number, it would be a 1. And so because we didn't have to worry about that, we could use the shortcut way. But in grade 10, they like to give us a coefficient there. And that coefficient means we need to change the way that we work out our questions. Has anyone in class seen the cross method yet for your trinomials? Let me know. If you have seen it before, let me know. Okay. That's okay, Piwe. That's why I'm here. All right, so those of you who have seen this will be like a nice recap of it. And those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to go through it nice and slowly so you know what's going on. Okay, the first one we do may seem scary, but I promise with practice, it's not so bad. Okay, we're going to break it up into 2 sections. I'm going to break it up into a left section. And in that left section, we need to try and get 3x squared. And on the right section, we need to try and get 4. Okay, so we're going to think about it as these 2 sections like this. So let's have a look with our 3x squared. First of all, we know we have to have an x and an x, because x times x gives me x squared. What 2 numbers can I multiply together that would give me 3? So what times what can give me 3? 3 and 1. Beautiful. Okay, so 3 and 1. Now, if we test that out for ourselves, 3x times 1x, that gives me 3x squared. That's what I want. Great. Perfect start. Okay, now let's look at our second part. So our pink part, we've got this 4. How can I get 4? How can I get 4? What times what gives me 4? 2 times 2. Okay. What else can give me 4? 4 times 1. Beautiful. Okay, so let's start with the 2 times 2, because that was at the top. So if we're having a look at this one over here, we're going to put a 2 over here, and we're going to put a 2 over there. That's my 2 times 2, because 2 times 2 would give me 4. Now we have to take into account our cross method. When we have our crisscross, the reason we draw those arrows like that is because that's the way we multiply. So we say 3x times 2, that's going to give me 6x. And here I'm going to have 1x times 2, that's going to give me 1x. Now, would it be possible for me to get to 11x with a 1x and a 6x? Would it be possible for me to get to 11 if I have a 1 and a 6? No. Okay. So because it's not possible, this one doesn't work. So we don't care about that one anymore. We don't want the 2 and the 2. The 2 and the 2 did not work for us. It was very rude. And so we're going to have to try the 4 and the 1. And when we're doing trinomials, you will get better with them. So eventually you'll start recognizing which numbers to use. But in the beginning, while you're learning, oh gosh, it just does not want to be pink, guys. It's like I'm trying to be pig and it's saying no. There we go. While you're learning, it will take a little bit of time and a little bit of trial and error. Okay, so now we've got this 4 and the 1. So let me put my 1 here and my 4 here. Let's try again. We've got 3x times 4. That's going to give me 12x. And I've got 1x times 1. That's going to give me 1x. Can I get to 11x with those numbers? With a 12 and a 1? Is it possible for me to get to 11? Yes, it is. Okay, now I'm wanting negative 11. How can I get negative 11 with these numbers? So I've got a 12x and I've got a 1x. How could I get negative 11x? Which one of those would have to be negative? So if I say 12 minus 1, that's going to give me 11. Good, you're going to minus 12 from 1. 1 minus 12 is going to give me negative 11, okay? So that means that this one over here needs to be my negative. So that means that one needs to be my negative. And that one needs to be my positive. Okay. Once we've done that, so we have checked that they work out together. We've checked that when we multiply, we get the 3x squared. We check we get the negative 4. The last step is whatever is in these first two, that makes up my first bracket, and whatever is in these bottom two, that makes up my second bracket. So my first bracket is going to be 3x plus 1, and my second bracket is going to be 1x minus 4. And if you're wanting to check that your answer is right, all you have to do is re-multiply it out to make sure you get to the correct answer. All right, before I give you one to try by yourselves, this is your time to ask questions. Ask away. If you have any questions about what you are seeing, what we've just gone through, ask. So quiet. Are you just feeling shell-shocked? Or is everyone just too hot to think? Okay, so how you multiply back, that's how you check your answer. So let's have a look here. We would say 3x times 1x, that would give me 3x squared. 3x times negative 4, that would give me negative 12x. 1 times x will give me positive x. 1 times negative 4 will give me negative 4. And so that would be 3x squared minus 11x minus 4, which is the same as my question. So because it's the same as my question, then I know I'm right. So Katiwe, I put the 4 at the bottom and the 1 at the top by chance, but if I had put the 4 at the top and the 1 at the bottom, I would have seen it didn't work, and then I would have tried to flip them around and see what happens if I flip them. So you just kind of have to work around until you get to the numbers that you're wanting to get. Okay. All right. Let's try one yourselves. Before you give question 2 a try, I want you to first look at this question, and there's something that you have to do before you can do the trinomial. What do we have to do to this question before we can factorize it? Yes, a PUA, absolutely. And what would that highest common factor be? What is my highest common factor here? 2. Good. Okay. All right. So we have taken out our highest common factor. You are now needing to factorize this. We're going to use our cross method. So just to help you out while you're learning, over here on the left-hand side, when we multiply those two together, we need to get this 5x squared. Okay. And on the right-hand side, over here, when we multiply these together, we need to get 2. Okay, and then when we work out our multiplications, we need to get that 7x that's chilling in the middle. So I want you all to give this a go. Try your best. See what you can work out. Play with the different numbers. And when you have an answer, pop it in the chat for me. Hi, Tiana.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
Aish, ma'am. I'm so tired.
Oh, no.
Ma'am, I'm so happy to see ma'am. Like, I would be more excited if I wasn't so tired.
That's okay. I'm excited to see you guys too.
Ma'am, I just joined class 2 minutes ago. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, don't panic. We're going to go through this one in detail afterwards. So maybe just watch carefully. And then when we go through it, hopefully it will start making a little bit more sense.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys, so give this one your best go. Work with your factors on the left, work with your factors on the right. See if you can get to a nice answer. That's okay if load shedding cuts you off. It's okay. Such is life. Remember that you can always watch these videos afterwards.
If it's any consolation, I was also kicked out just now because of load shedding.
Oh, it's very stressful.
Yes. But they will not keep us down, guys. The math continues.
Yes, the maths will always continue. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to try and work through this one, and then we're going to talk through it together and see how it goes. Remember that these are the way that your grade 10 trinomials, they're always going to look like this. You're always going to have a coefficient in the front, so we need to start getting used to these. Fatu, it's okay. It's totally normal. It's a very weird new thing that we're trying to learn, so don't panic. When we go through it together, hopefully it will start like making connections in your head and you'll be like, oh, I'm starting to see this now. Okay. Let's have a look at this first one. We're going to do it the exact same way we did the last one. We're going to break it up step by step. Okay. This first term, I need to get 5x squared. How can I get 5x squared, guys? What times what would give me 5x squared? So what are going to be those two numbers? What times what? Can get, yes, beautiful. 1 and 5. Okay. So 1x and 5x. And you could also have written it as 5x and 1x. It doesn't matter. You'll get to the same place. Okay. If you got that far, then you've already made progress. That is our first step. Okay. Now let's look at this 2. How can I get 2? What times what is going to give me 2? 1 times 2. Okay. So let's put our 1 here and our 2 there. Because 1 times 2 is going to give us 2. Great start. Now we need to start playing with our cross multiplication. So we're going to say 1x times 2 is going to give me 2x. 5x times 1 is going to give me 5x. Is it possible for me to get 7x with 5x and 2x? Good. Okay, so I'd have to say plus 5x plus 2x. If I add those together, I'm going to get 7x. Okay, so when we're checking, we're seeing what we've got. 1x times 5x gives us 5x squared. We've got that. 1 times 2 gives us 2. We've got that. 5x plus 2x gives us 7x. We've got that. That means we're happy. Okay, now we just write out exactly what we've worked out into our brackets. So we're going to say 1x plus 1 and 5x plus 2. And that's going to be our final answer. Okay, Tiana, how can I help?
Ma'am, so like, what happens if you said 5x plus 1 in 1x plus 2? Is it wrong?
It will be wrong because when we multiply it out, our numbers aren't going to land up giving us the 7x in the middle.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever's happening in those top 2, they need to be in one bracket together, and whatever's happening in these 2 need to be in one bracket together. Okay, good, Simpiwe, that's what I like to hear. Remember, guys, you must just ask questions if you're feeling lost. Just ask away. And these just take time. They just take time and practice. I'm going to leave that like that so you can see both. Okay, let's have a look at this one down here. Again, before you do your trinomial, we need to do something first. We're going to do another one. We're going to do this one over here. Okay, you need to take out your highest common factor before you do anything. So your first part, you're going to take out your highest common factor. When you take out your highest common factor, I want you to tell me what we would have left in our brackets. Okay, so Dilshad, the red part came from these two over here, the 1x and the 1, and the 5x and the 2. That's where that red part came from. Good. Katiwe, we're going to take out a 3. Okay, so we're going to be left with 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. So that's what you're going to be working with while you factorize. So over here, these two together, when we multiply them, we need to get our 2x squared. And here, when we multiply them, we need to get 1. Okay, give that one a go. Let's see who can get this 100% right. Look at your signs very carefully.
Try it out, guys. We believe in you.
Mapaseka, don't panic. I think when we go through this one, it'll start like sinking. These things just take time. Yes, exactly, Simpiwe. When we take out a highest common factor, we divide all those numbers by that number. Yes, my little Jazzy Jasmine. How can I help?
Got a question.
Sure.
Is there any other methods to do this besides the cross method?
There is one method where you land up using grouping, but it often makes it more confusing than it should be.
Oh.
So most of your teachers will want you to land up working with a cross method. Some of your teachers may show you the grouping method, but this is generally the go-to for this one. Okay. Yes, Babawa, I will as soon as we go through this one. So like once everyone's given this one a go, I'll start from the top and you can, well, these have got both questions that we've done so far. So that's the full thing. That's from question 1. So you can actually just take a screenshot from there. Okay, Tatum, I'm seeing some answers coming up. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. See if anyone else can give this one a go. Just try your best. Think about what we would have to multiply together to get what. It's okay, Alicia. Nice to see you. A Piwe, that's very, very close. And Braden, also close. But making mistakes with your signs. I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute on this, and then I'm going to go through this answer. And then we're going to look at how we can use these involved in fractions. But you're doing really well, guys. This is a hard concept. Clo, I'm liking it. Isa, just be careful with your signs. Katiwe, just be careful with your signs. Okay. I'm going to show you some tricks to make it a little bit easier once we've finished all three of these, but let's just go through this one step by step. So first part over here is we're trying to get this 2x squared. Okay. Now, in order to get that 2x squared, I'd need to say something times something is going to give me 2x squared. So what times what is going to give me that 2x? How can I get 2x squared? What times what? Good, 2 and 1. So I'm going to have 2x times 1x. When I multiply those together, I get 2x squared. All right, now the other side is also nice and easy because how do I get 1? What times what is going to give me 1? I only have one option. Yeah, 1 times 1. It's the only option I have. Okay. Then we do our cross multiplication. We say 2x times 1, that's going to give me 2x. And 1x times 1, that's going to give me 1x. I'm trying to get to negative 3x. So because I'm trying to get to negative 3x, what does that mean about my 1x and my 2x? What do they both need to be if I'm trying to get to negative 3x? They both need to be negative. So negative 1x minus 2x, that's going to give me negative 3x. So both of those are going to have to be negative over there. And then that's telling me what's going to be in my brackets. So that's bracket number 1. So my bracket number 1 is going to, oh, can't leave off the 3, 2x minus 1. And my bracket number 2, oh, sorry guys. My bracket number 2 is going to be 1x minus 1. And if you had written it as 1x minus 1 and then in the second bracket 2x minus 1, that's completely okay. Doesn't matter. So just some tricks here just to help you as you're going through this. Let me just erase this so that you can see what's going on. All right. If this sign is a negative, then inside our brackets, we're always going to have one positive and we're going to have one negative. Okay. If this sign is a positive, then the signs are always going to be the same and they're always going to be the same as that sign. So this is a plus and this is a plus. So again, here, this one's a plus. So they're going to be the same as this sign. So we're going to have a negative and a negative. So just be careful with making sure, just to help you. You don't need to use that if you're thinking about what times what, but it just sort of gives us a little bit of a guide. See, Anda, that's okay. If you've done it in a different way, do the way that you feel comfortable with at school. Good. Those of you who are seeing this for the first time, remember it's okay to be kind to yourselves. If you're feeling a little bit confused, that's a very normal reaction. It's okay. What about negative 1 times 3? I'm not too sure where that negative 1 and 3 would be coming from. Zanokukle, how can I help?
Afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I'm honestly still lost. Are we still gonna do more work that's like this?
Yes, we're going to do 2 more like this, and then we're going to work in some fractions.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. So guys, remember, just be kind to yourselves. Remember, everything takes time and practice. All right, have a look at 4 for me. So now when you're working this out, just remember that you're going to make your little cross. Okay? No brain break in grade 10, Alicia. We got to go. We've got so much to get through.
Oh.
Just think about what needs to happen in these 2 different boxes. So in the pink one, we're trying to get to this 25. And in the orange one, when we multiply them together, we need to get to that 9x squared. Okay.
Apiwe says, no, not you too, Teacher Jane.
Sorry, Apiwe. So just think about what I could multiply to get those different things. Just to start us off, let's just chat in the beginning. I'm not going to do everything for you. I just want to talk. How can I get 9x squared? Like what times what could give me 9x squared? I've got 2 different options to get 9x squared. What are my 2 different options? 3x times 3x. Okay. And what's my other option? 9 times 1. Good. Oh, okay. So those are my 2 options for my 9. What is my options for my 25? Again, I have 2 options for my 25. 5 times 5. Good. And my second option? 25 times 1. Beautiful. Okay, so now using a combination of those, we're going to play. Generally, just as like a set rule, if you have square numbers, always try for the squares first, because often they'll end up trying to help you later on. So always try with the squares first, and then if the squares don't work, then try something else. Jabulo, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, though, if anything was missed, you'll be able to catch up on the video afterwards. Ah, Brayden, coming in strong. I'm enjoying it. Hi, Michael. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to try and finish this one off. And then we're going to see how we do. Okay. All right, so we're going to take the advice that I gave, and we're going to try with the square numbers first. So I'm going to try with this 3x. Oh, gosh, let me use the right color. So we're going to try with the 3x and 3x. It's going to give me 9x squared. So I know that I've got that part right. Okay, now I'm going to work with my 5 and my 5. Okay. Then we do our multiplication. So 3x times 5, that's going to give me 15x. And 3x times 5, that's going to give me 15x. Is it possible for me to get to negative 30 with 15 and 15? Is it possible? And if it is possible, how would I get to negative 30 with 2 15s? Good. Make a negative. Negative 15 minus another 15 is going to give me negative 30. So that means that needs to be negative and that needs to be negative. All right. So inside our brackets, we put exactly what we have over here. 3x minus 5. And then over here, 3x minus 5. Now, what we were talking about just now, as our way of just checking that everything's right, this is a plus sign, which means our signs need to be the same, and they need to be the same as that sign, and both of our signs are negative, so we are happy. Okay. Who got that right? Let me know. Who got that 100% right? Oh, good, Brayden. I'm so glad. Well done, Simpiwe. Well done, Tiana. Nice, Tatum. Yes, Q. Starting to understand. I'm happy. Good. That's okay. You'll get faster at them, I promise. Okay. So, Mapaseka, try use this trick that we used right at the end, just to make sure that we're right. Okay. We're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to work in some fractions. So this is the last one we're going to do like this, and then we're going to work in some fractions. So we've got 8x cubed plus 14x minus 15. So now this is as nasty as these questions can get, okay? So just prepare yourself. Don't be mean to yourselves. Be very kind to yourselves as you're working through this. When we are working through this question, these two together, when we multiply them, we need to get 8x cubed. And these two together, when we multiply them, we need to get our 15. Okay. So think about what different pairs we could use. Think about how we could combine those pairs and then play around. This one might take a little bit of trial and error because it depends on where you place things first. Some of you may be lucky and you might put the right numbers in right at the beginning, and some of you may take a little bit longer, and that's okay.
Teacher Jane, we have a hand from Tiana.
Oh, yes, Tiana, how can I help?
Ma'am, is it possible that like you can get 3x, maybe 3x squared, and then your other number on the costing is only 1x?
So you only want them to be x's. So whatever number is going to go there, it doesn't matter, but there will only ever be an x and an x.
So it
Oh,
will
because
never
this is
be
x cubed. Sorry, no, there's a mistake here. This shouldn't be x cubed. Thank you, Tiana.
Thank you, ma'am.
There we go.
Thanks, Tiana.
Thank you. This one is a bit of a nasty question. I'm just going to warn you that it's a nasty question. But I just want you to try your best. And then if you're happy with your answer, let me know and we can have a look and see what you've done. Oh, okay. We've got a contender coming in from Katiwe.
Keep them coming, guys.
Brayden, I think I'm missing an X somewhere. And just if you multiply those out, just make sure you can get the plus 14x in the middle. Keep these answers rolling in. Okay, let's have a look. So when we look at our 8, we've got different options. Okay, we could do 8 times 1, or we could have 4 times 2. Those would both give us 8. And when we look at our 15, we could have 1 times 15, or we could have 3 times 5. Okay. So let's have a look. If we work with the 4 and the 2, we're going to have 4x and 2x. And then let's work over here with the 3 and the 5. So let's make this a 3 and let's make this a 5. When we multiply them together, we're going to get 4x times 5. That's going to give me 20x. And 2x times 3, that's going to give me 6x. Is it possible to get 14x from 20 and 6? Would it be possible? Yes, we would need plus 20 minus 6. So 20 minus 6 will give us the 14. So this needs to be a plus and this needs to be a minus. And so inside our brackets, we are going to have 4x minus 3, and then we are going to have 2x plus 5. We're going to double check that we are right. So we're going to say, cool. It said that this needed to be a negative, which means our signs, one needs to be negative and one needs to be positive. And so we are happy. And remember, that could be written the other way around. You could have said 2x plus 5 and then 4x minus 3, but it's important that where the signs are, that's important. Who got this one right? Let me know if we are making progress. If you're feeling a little bit better about this than you did at the beginning of the lesson, then I'm happy. Oh no, Michael, it's okay. It's okay. Time and practice. Woo!
And trying is better than not doing it at all. So kudos to you guys.
Yes, exactly. If you had done it with the 8 and the 1, you wouldn't have been able to get to 14. But let's have a look at that and I'll show you why. Okay, so let's say we used 8 and 1. We had 8x over here and 1x, and then if we had 15x and, 15 and 1, we would have this would multiply to 15x and this would multiply to 8x. And so I wouldn't be able to get to 14 with those two numbers. If that makes any sense. Alicia, I think the plan is eventually, oh, good, Braden. I'm glad. I think the plan is, but I'm not sure when that would be happening. Don't worry, signs will get easier over time. So now we're going to try and put all of this to practice and we're going to start playing with some fractions. Some of these are going to feel so easy compared to what we've just done. So hopefully you will really enjoy them. Oh, Apiwe, my cat has come to join us. Obviously knew that you were nearby. Why is this doing this? Okay. All right. So we are trying to do these questions over here. I'm going to show you how to work with 1, and then I want you to give question 2 and question 3 a try for me. Okay. So when we're looking at question 1, our goal is, we sort of spoke about these very briefly at the end of grade 9. We want to factorize our top and we want to factorize our bottom. Okay. I can't do anything with 4. It's just a number, but I can factorize my top because I've got 2a plus 10. How can I factorize 2a plus 10? What could I do to factorize 2a plus 10? How can I factorize that?
Any
Come
ideas,
on.
guys?
Don't overthink it. Yes, highest common factor. When in doubt, it's always highest common factor. So I'm going to take out my highest common factor of 2, and then I'd be left with a plus 5, and that is over 4. Okay, now that I have factorized, I can simplify. So I can say, well, 2 goes into itself once and into 4 2 times. And so my final answer is going to be a plus 5. And you can keep it in brackets if you want to, over 2. That's going to be my final answer. Okay. So when you're looking at this bottom one over here, so I want you to look at 2 now. There's nothing I can do to the a plus 4. I have to just keep it as it is, but I want you to try and factorize that top part. So factorize the 5a plus 20, and then see what will simplify, and then give me my final answer. So work on question 2, and then when you're happy with question 2, you can give question 3 a try, and we can see how you do. But these should feel nice and easy now, because you've just done the hard work.
Let's do this.
So think about, how can we factorize?
Tiana
Yes,
has a
absolutely.
question. Teacher Jen?
Tiana, how can I help?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
my question is, do we take out I might give an answer away, but like,
No, that's okay.
do we take out the highest common bracket? I mean, not highest common, I mean a common bracket. Sorry.
You're gonna take out the highest common factor. So what can you take out from 5a and 20?
5.
Beautiful. So take it out.
But like after taking it out, then there's a common bracket.
Okay, if there's a common bracket, then can we simplify? Can we cancel them?
I think we can cancel it, but I don't know. Do you put like a 1 and or is it just 5?
You can put a 1 under, or you can just take it away.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so we're getting some good answers coming in. When we do our highest common factor over here, I'm going to take out my 5. So I'm going to have 5, and then inside my bracket, I'm going to have a plus 4. Remember, when you do your factorization, you can always check that you're right, because 5 times a is 5a, and 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, and that needs to give us what we started with, over a plus 4. Now, when these are exactly the same, we can cancel them out. If you want to put a 1 at the bottom, you absolutely can, but we can just say this cancels with this, and so our final answer is 5. If you wrote your answer as 5/1, that is 100% fine. Where did the 4 came from? The 4 came from when we took out our highest common factor, because 5 times 4 is going to give us our 20. So that's where that 4 came from.
Teacher Jane,
Mm.
can you please explain number 1 again? Dilshad is feeling a little confused.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So if you guys are needing help with question 1, have a look at question 1. Otherwise, if you're feeling good, you can get going on question 3. In question 1, the first thing we want to do is we want to look for a highest common factor in our numerator. Okay, so we're looking at this 2a plus 10, and we're saying what number can go into both of those terms? 2 can go into both of those terms. So I'm going to take 2 out. And when we take out our highest common factor, we divide both of those terms by our HCF. So 2a divided by 2 gives me a, and 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. Okay, remember if we remultiply this, 2 times a is 2a, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, now that we're here, we're wanting to try and simplify this a bit. So we can say 2 can go into itself once, and 2 can go into 4 2 times. And so our final answer would be a plus 5. If you want to put a 1 there, you're welcome to, over 2. That would be our final answer. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense. Braden, the 4 comes from doing your highest common factor. So when we take 5 out as our highest common factor, in our first term, we would say 5a divided by 5 would give us a. And then in our second term, we would say 20 divided by 5, and that would give us 4. Fatu, how can I help?
Ma'am, I wanted to answer number 3.
Yes, that is exciting. I'm ready for it. Tell me what I can do.
Okay, ma'am. So we're going to do dots.
Okay,
So we need to open our 2 brackets.
beautiful.
3x minus 4 and 3x plus 4.
I like it. Okay, over.
Over. So we take out our HCF, which is 2.
Beautiful.
Then we left with 3x minus 4.
Woohoo! On a roll.
And
Nice
then
one,
our
Fatu.
3x minus 4 at the top is going to cancel with the 1 at the bottom.
Good. So what is our final
we-
answer going to be?
3x plus 4 over 2.
Yes. Nice job. 100%. Awesome work, Fatu.
Thank you.
Woohoo. Oh, Alicia, it's okay. When it's hot like this, I know it's difficult to keep the brain going for the whole day. I do understand. But nice job. So that one was dots at the top and then an HCF at the bottom. And then we could cancel out the brackets that were the same and get our final answer. Okay, and this is our, we'll see what our time is like. I think this might be our last question of the night. You can see. Okay. So it's a little bit trickier because I've got 2 different terms happening. But I want you to think about them all separately. So I want you to factorize this. I want you to factorize this. And then the other 2 can't factorize. And then we're going to try and simplify from there. It's okay if you got it wrong, Betty. Practice makes perfect. Zanokukle, how can I help?
Ma'am, for question 4, do we factorize the 2 that you colored in yellow?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Give it your best go, guys, and I'll show you where the marks for questions like this come from. So even if you don't get the right final answer, maybe you'll get some marks along the way.
Keep going, guys. We are almost there.
Sianda, you have classes on Tuesday and Thursdays. Braden, I think it probably will be because of our time, because you've got your quiz today. So don't rush, give it your best go. See what you can do. Thanks, Yanda.
No, the best.
Okay, let's just work it out step by step. Focus on factorizing this. Focus on factorizing this. Once you've got those, you'll be good to go.
We have a question from Tiana. Teacher J.
Tiana, how can I help?
Ash, ma'am, I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions tonight.
No, it's good to ask questions. It's how you learn.
Okay, ma'am. So after you factorize it, eh,
Mm.
and then we must we like times it also, or must we just
Well-
leave it like?
Well, why don't you factorize it for me so we can write out that answer? What would this look like? Can you give me the next part of this answer?
It will be P
Mm-hmm.
in brackets P plus Q
Good.
over 7P,
Okay, I like that.
and then times 21 over 8, and then in brackets P plus Q.
Okay. Cool. So when we get to this point over here, we've got lots of different options. When you're multiplying, you're allowed to cancel things as long as it's a top and a bottom. So for example, here, I can say that P plus Q can cancel with that P plus Q because it's one top and one bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if that scares you, you don't have to do it like that. You can also do it in 2 steps. So we could also write this out. When we're multiplying, think about it as a fraction. When you multiply fractions, you just multiply them together, right? So I'm just going to write it like this. P plus Q, and then I'm going to say times 21Q, all over 7P times 8P plus Q. So all I've done is I've pushed them together. I haven't done anything fancy. Okay, but that helps us see what can cancel. So this P plus Q can cancel with that P plus Q. This P can cancel with that P. If I look at my numbers, 7 can go into itself once and 7 can go into 21 3 times. So let's see where that takes us. At the top, we're going to have 3Q, and at the bottom, we're just going to have an 8. Crazy, isn't it?
There's too much colors there.
I know there's a lot of colors going on. But
What
listen,
if I
so
didn't
I'll show-
memorize like
yeah, I'll
type
show
of-
you. Let me show you a different way to think about this. So, okay. So guys, if you're there, don't panic. At this point over here, if you got to this point, you already are sitting on 2 marks, which is great. Okay. The last step is only worth 1 mark. So if you get it wrong, it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to show you some easier ways to work this out. If you struggle to see, generally work with things that make the most sense. So over here, for example, this P, you can see that that can cancel with that P because it's a top and a bottom, right? So you can get rid of it. And then here, you've got this P plus Q, one top and one bottom. So those can cancel, okay? Now, if those cancel, what we would be left with is 21Q over 7 times 8. So now 7 times 8 is going to give us 56. Okay. And then if we got to this point over here, you can just pop that into your calculator exactly like that. So like a fraction, you write your 21 over 56 and it will simplify it for you. You don't even need to use your brains at this point. So you can just say 3Q over 8 and you will get to the same point. So it just depends on how you want to work it out, but you only get 1 mark for this end part. If you're doing all of this work for the factorizing, that's where the bulk of your marks are. Yeah, Tiana, how can I help?
Ash, ma'am, I just forgot to put down mine.
Oh, no, that's not a problem. So for the question that's come in the chat, you can't really show where things cancel. You can if you're just using your pencil and you're showing which is canceling out, but you don't get marks for that step. You get marks for your final answer. Okay. Guys, I hope you have had a good lesson, and I hope that you feel a bit more confident with the stuff now than you did at the beginning. It's been lovely to have you, and you'll be back with Teacher Coco on Tuesday, but I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Fatu, hello.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, are we still going to do more of the trinomials? Because, like, I don't understand a thing.
I'm sure there's going to be more trinomials coming in on Tuesday.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll make sure that
Bye.
Teacher Coco does it. Bye. Yeah. Yes, Level's going to share the quiz link with you now. And well done, guys. You did awesome work today. Yes, Alusha, how can I help?
Ma'am, on Tuesday, ma'am, the teacher that was teaching us, she said we're gonna write an exam, ma'am. Are we still going to write it?
Was she talking about the quiz that you're writing today?
No, ma'am. I think she was talking about all the things we are gonna learn about.
Oh, I'm not too sure how that's all working out. Lebo, do you have more information on that?
I'm not too sure what Alicia is talking about. I will have to ask Alicia.
Okay, we can find out for you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Lydia, I know you can ask a question. I've still got a couple of minutes. Zanukukle, how can I help?
Ma'am, may you please explain question 4, because like the answer part, because I don't understand it.
So the answer part is where we're just canceling things out. Are you happy with canceling out the blue P's and the green brackets?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then let's look at these numbers. If I take my 7 and my 21, I can say 7 goes into itself once and 7 goes into 21 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. So what am I left with? I'm left with nothing over here because I've just got a 1. At the top, I'm just left with 3Q. And at the
Yes, ma'am.
bottom, all I'm left with is 8 because
8.
everything else canceled.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem.